Yo, welcome back everybody to a brand new video here on the second channel, and today we're going to be looking at all the decks that did well at LAIC this year, the day 2 at LAIC. LAIC was a pretty big tournament. It was still in the Mega Evolution format, but I don't know how much of an impact Phantasmal Flame is actually going to have on the meta, so we're going to look at all the decks here that did well and analyze the top 8, see what did well, see what people were playing, and why they chose certain cards in their deck. We're going to talk about all that in today's video. I do want to thank you all for 26k subs here on the second channel, by the way. I do appreciate that. It's a pretty awesome milestone to hit. And of course, hey, if you're new, why not subscribe down below? Leave a link to Limitless down below if you want to go check out any of the list for yourself from LAIC. So we'll start off here with the first place list. We did see Pedro Pertusi win LAIC with Jelly Gardy taking down the hometown almost said hometown regional, hometown IC, playing Jelly Gardy. Jelly Gardy was the play this weekend. I think a lot of people realized that, and a lot of people pulled up with it. It was a very popular and common deck in day 2. A lot of the top players were on at the deck. I'm not surprised we did end up having a mirror match in the finals. I know we were supposed to have Charizard versus Gardevoir, the whole Gabriel Fernandez situation, and honestly, Gabriel was favored to win LAIC if, he didn't get disqualified for whether or not if he did or did not cheat. And obviously Gabriel's list is not posted on Limitless here, but besides the fact, Pedro did win. He beat the Jelly Gardy mirror match in the finals. His list was playing a Drifloon, which ended up being very important actually on stream against the Mega Kangaskhan absolutely hit. And then we had Sebastian in second place, obviously, with the Jelly Gardy. Not playing the Drifloon, also still playing the 3-2-2 Gardy line, which is interesting because we did see Henry Chow slim down the Gardy line in his most recent build of the deck, which we'll get to soon. We did have Yoshi Yuki here in top 4 with Mega Kangaskhan Absol. It just kind of rode off the success of Las Vegas Regionals. I don't think the deck was poorly placed for this tournament. I think the deck was still pretty well positioned for LAIC, and we did see it have a pretty good run in top 4. We had a couple here actually make the top 8. We had a Dango Rocks in top 4. Dango was another deck that had a very good showing this weekend. A lot of Dango in top 8 here. This one was playing the 1-1 Mega Lucario and the Precious Trolley. So kind of went back to a different build of the Dango Rocks that we were trying out before. And the Lucario, I think, is really strong. Lucario and Mawile, I think, are both really good. We did see a Mawile in top 8 also, but we saw a couple Lucarios do really good too. And then we had a Polnor in top 8. Obviously, we're going to get a Polnor. Polnor's such a strong deck. Not their best Guardy matchup, but still just such a good deck. It'll always make a top 8, in my opinion, at a major. So one did have a research in it alongside the 4 Lily. Had the 1 Hilda in there too, so I guess that was the big difference. And then we had Ela back-to-back IC top 8s, probably with the most unique Dango Rocks list we've seen in this tournament. Was playing it with double Lavencia, double Lightning, 1-1 Lucario, Iono was in the deck, and so was Cypher, and only played 3 Superior Energy Retrievals. So Ilya played a very different take on Dango Rocks. But I do like this idea, and I think Lavencia is actually worth playing in the deck. Just it helps a lot against Jelly Gardy, which is debatably the deck's worst matchup, right? So it's good to have the Lavencia in there. Lucario ended up being really good this weekend, as we saw 2 of it make top 8. We did see Benny Billinger, though, running back with Dango. He got top 32 in Vegas with the deck. He's playing it with Mawile, though, this time around. Did have the Hops Cram still in there. Also played a 4-3 line of a Gold Dango, which is very interesting because usually you'd only see 3 Dangos in the Joltik Dango build, but Benny decided to play a 4-3 line of Gold Dango, which is very unique. So a bit of a different take here on the Dango list. And then we got another Kangaskhan Absol make top 8. This one had an Eerie and a Zero-6 in the deck for a little bit more hand disruption, which I think was fine for this tournament too. But yeah, I think Kanga Absol, Gold Dango, Gardevoir were probably the 3 best decks for the tournament. In general, we did see them dominate, have a good share of the entire top 8. We had a Grim making it into ASIM here, which is awesome to see, because I like Grim. I probably would have ran it back, to be honest, if I went to LAIC and, oops, bit of computer lag here. All right, there we go. So yeah, the Grim list here did have the Maractus in the deck and the Tassagiri going in there, which is interesting. The Maractus over the Eviltal isn't terrible, because Maractus' ability does have a lot of value with Devo and Froslass and stuff, but pretty good Grim list there. 3 Iono, 2 Boss, the Shaman in there, the Blood Moon and stuff. Pretty cool. And then we did have another Dango Rocks here. I think I skipped somebody. We had another Dango Rocks here in top 16 played by Stefan Ivanov, who opted to play it with the Baby Gold Dango. No big Mega Pokemon in the deck. No Mawile, no Lucario. Does have the Monkey Dory in the deck, however, though, which is something you don't usually see in Dango Rocks, but Monkey Dory does have some value in the Jelly Gardy matchup, and it's good against Dragapult, too. Comes up in quite a few situations. We had Fernando Cifuentes making a sim with the Kangaskhan Absol deck with the Crustle in there. So the Crustle having a good showing once again. We did see this deck do well in Las Vegas. I think, played by Fernando, so he kind of ran it back and did well again with the deck. So it's a cool take on the Kanga Absol deck, but it is just another, Kanga Absol deck, obviously. But it's got Crustle in there, which is a bit different than what we're used to seeing. We got Daichi here making ASIM with, or top 16 with the Kanga Absol deck, playing with double Eerie and a Frillish. So trying to be a little bit more kind of disruptive and controllive. You got the item block alongside the double Eerie, which can help a lot against Goldango. You can Bravery Charm Frillish them once they've taken a big KO on a Mega, and then you can just, like, Eerie them and run them out of retrievals. This deck actually seems like it should beat Goldango pretty easily, I would say, for sure. That probably has a good matchup into Dango. Honestly, it was a pretty stacked ASIM. A lot of big players. We got William Azevedo here in top 16. Another really accomplished player here. Playing Jellicent if it wants to load. There we go. He played with a 1/1 Espathra, though, which is a pretty crazy tech card to see. But I'm pretty sure it does help against the matchup versus Absol. And I guess a little bit versus Charizard. But very crazy innovation from William to be playing it. I mean, he made it all the way to ASIM. I mean, Jellicent is such a strong deck. You could put a random 1/1 Espathra in your deck, and it helps. But obviously, with all the Kanga Absol that was at the top tables, it makes sense to have the Espathra EX in there just to help against Absol. Because then they need 4 energy to attack, which makes it really awkward. Henry Chow was on Jellicent, played with a bunch of people here, as you can see. And yeah, Jellicent was really good for this tournament, and Henry Chow wanted to win the tournament. He was playing the 2-1-2 Guardian line, so he did slim down the line of Gardevoir, had a 2-2 line of Jellicent, played the Turo and the Latias EX in the deck also. Then we got our first Zoroark here in ASIM, played by Vini. Vini was playing it with the Mega Absol and the Okie Dokie. I do like the idea of Mega Absol and Zoroark right now. It does seem really strong. We did see Gabrielle do good with it too, and Cal Connor, so it makes sense. That's why the deck kind of just had another good showing here. I mean, Zoroark wasn't bad play. All the Jellicent doing well definitely makes sense why Zoroark Absol would have had a good showing for Sir. But only one made it all the way top 16, which is kind of surprising. I would have expected a little bit more, like a couple, maybe one more Zoroark at least. Another Kangaskhan Absol Crustle deck here, doing good, and then that's interesting to see. We got another Gardevoir here. This one was just playing the Drifloon, the Screamtail with the Iron Bundle here in top 32. And then we had our first Flareon in top 32. So Flareon didn't do bad this weekend. I mean, still good. Did have that good result over in Europe. Still carrying over. With all the Dango, I guess, I was doing well. And honestly, even Kanga Absol, I don't think is a bad match for this deck. So those decks definitely seem favored for Flareon, and them doing well probably helps a lot. But Jellicent probably is maybe a little shaky for the deck. A Joltik Box made top 32. I did think this deck was actually well positioned for this tournament because I knew the top tables were most likely going to be Gardevoir, Dango, Kangaskhan. And for the most part, I was right. I'm like, Joltik doesn't seem like a bad deck to play this tournament. We did just see Kanga Absol win Las Vegas. If you want to play this deck, playing it to LAIC is not a bad play, and one did make it top 32. Like, apart from its, like, weird inconsistencies and linearity, it's a very powerful deck, and I definitely think it was a good play to the tournament. Just not enough people will play it because it's Joltik. And then we got another Guardy Jelly, just doing well. This one did have the Drifloon in the build once again. Drifloon being really strong in Jellicent. I don't hate it, just to give you a little bit more of, like, explosive damage to work with here. A couple more Kanga Absols. We had Ryuki here running back with this list. We had another Kangaskhan Absol player, Ben Tonneson. Okay, cool. All right, what else? Another Jellicent. Just a lot of Jellicent. Like, it just dominated LAIC. It was easy to play for the tournament. Not surprised to see it overperform and do so well. Just looked really good. Another Poltnor here. Only a couple Poltnors doing well. I'm not surprised because, like, the deck definitely had to struggle against all the Jellicents and even, like, the Kangaskhan Absols. There was a Poltazard in top 32. This makes me happy. I like this deck a lot. It has been winning, actually, in the seniors division. Nathan Osterkatz has been winning multiple regionals with their Poltazard deck. Not surprised to see Poltazard actually have a good performance. I thought the deck was, like, actually not bad for this tournament. I think it actually looks even better for Fantastical Flames format. I'm going to be quite honest with you. So this is definitely a deck I want to play again to another regional because I played in Milwaukee. And the deck's really good. I think it's underrated. Like, it is kind of splitting the difference between both Polt and Zard, but it is really good. And Dragapult definitely has a lot of value with Charizard. And I'm happy to see the deck have a cash performance. Another Jellicent here, just a lot of them. This one had the 3-2 Research Lily split. We got another Gardevoir. This one with the Flutter Mane and the Frillish. Oops. Wrong thing I clicked on. Another Kanga Absol. It's playing Xerosic and Eerie in there. Another Gardevoir below that, played by Gustavo Wada, who ran it back with his Mega Gardevoir, Drifloon, Cleffa technology. He had a lot of Pokemon. Drifloon, Cleffa, Mega Guardy, Screamtail, Furlish is in there too. 3-3 split. A lot of supporters, actually. 4 Research, 3 Iono, 3 Lily. No Arvin is interesting to see in that list. More Kangaskhan with the Crustle in there. So Crustle, Kangaskhan looking pretty good. And we had a couple of Terra boxes make top 32. Literally making top 32. I'll talk about that in a sec. But yeah, we got the Terra box here making top 32 with the Flareon in there. No Leafeon. And then we got Josh Frank's list here, which I'm sure was playing the Leafeon. Because he's been playing the same list with the Leafeon, the Flareon, and the Pikachu and stuff. This seems like not the best way to play Terra box, but I think Terra box definitely had to play some sort of like extra attacker in the deck besides the usual lineup, just because of how the format was shaping up. Like the dark Pokemon in the deck or the Eevee package, and Josh Frank had a good run. He bubbled top 32. Because Gabriel got DQ'd, he got into top 32, which is actually pretty hilarious, in all honesty. Like, yeah, it's kind of crazy to think that that happens. Like, imagine bubbling, what, $3,000, whatever top 32 pays out in IC, and then somebody gets DQ'd. It actually happens. And then, yeah, crazy stuff. But Terra box definitely isn't terrible, for sure. That was the entire top 32 here, but outside top 32, top 64 was still in contention for cash. We did see another Poltner here with just pretty normal stuff, actually. Thought I had 3 Jammies for a sec. I saw 3 Boss, not 3 Jammies. I'm blind. If it wants to load here, it's taking a minute. There we go. Okay, so what else do we got here? Oh, went down a little too far. All right, Grimmsnarl doing good also, and Guardy. It's taking forever to load. Limitless is slow sometimes like this. I don't know what it is. Sometimes it just randomly lags. But yeah, we got another Grim doing well with the Budu, the Bundle, Tassu, Eviltal, the Veteran EX. The Veteran does seem pretty good. I like Triple Boss too. I don't hate this list, actually. It's pretty good stuff. The Tassagiri, I think, is kind of cute. I'm not a big believer in the Casu in the deck because it sits on your board while it eats damage from Froslass, but it does make the deck more consistent. Another Guardy with the Fluttermane. And that one, a couple more Poltnors here, played by Andrew Hedrick. And then we had another one here, once again. Another Kangaskhan. No hand disruption, just a pretty straightforward build with attackers. Another Guardy with just Drifloon and Screamtail doing well. Another Guardy Jelly, played by Piper, actually, playing it. And she played a Pokegear. That was like the one big difference in Piper's list. She put a one of Pokegear in the deck. She likes playing one of Pokegears. It's pretty good. All right. If it takes some second to click out here, there we go. Come on, load. But I do like that idea of Pokegear and Guardy. Actually, doesn't seem bad. And we got Kieran here playing the Dango Rocks. Pretty straightforward build here of Dango Rocks. Didn't play any of the extra like attackers. No Cram, no Mega Evolution. Just a very simplistic and straightforward build. Did have the Lana in there, though, for the Jelly Guardy matchup, which just makes sense, because obviously I think that matchup is a little tricky. So it's probably good to have that. Got another Grim here, playing there in Bundle. Another Jelly Guardy here, played by Jackson Ford, who didn't play Zard, but he did say on Twitter that the Dusknoir Charizard deck was not a good play for the tournament. He said if he was to play Charizard, he would have just ran what Gabrielle played with the Monkey Dory and stuff. Like the Dusknoir, let's build a Charizard, he said, was the better version of Charizard for this tournament. Another Jelly Guardy doing well, with one also playing the Drifloon. Got another Dango Rocks here with the Mawile in there. Don't hate it. Another Kangaskhan Absol with the Cornerstones. No hand disruption supporters. Another Marnie's Grim with the Shaman, Bundle, Budu, and stuff. The usuals. Got the one of Research in there. Another Dango Rocks with the 1/1 Mega Lucario and the Lana's Aid, the Prime Catcher. That's a spec. I like this build. I think Lana, honestly, was pretty good this weekend in Dango Rocks just because it helps a lot against Jelly Guardy, because that matchup is really tricky. I feel like without some kind of energy recovery supporter or stadium like Levincia or Lana, for sure, it does help a lot. Got another Poltner in top 64 here, and then we got a couple more Dango Rocks. So one playing the Sudowoodo. The Sudowoodo is cool because you can trap Muse against Guardy and stuff. You can trap stuff in the active spot with Impound. It's kind of the idea of the Sudowoodo in the deck. And then it's got the Mawile in there too, which is kind of cool to see. Yeah, the Sudowoodo is a cool innovation in the Dango. You never attack with a second attack, just first attack. Another Dango Rocks playing the Mawile and the Lana's Aid. Another Kangaskhan with Crustle. A lot of Kangaskhan Crustles. I mean, there's a lot of Kangaskhan Absol in top 64 in general, but a lot of them are playing Crustle. There's a lot more Crustle than I would have expected. We saw quite a few. It's like the 5th or 6th one we've looked at so far. It's pretty crazy, actually. So definitely was a good weekend for the Crustle build. It's probably the best way to play Crustle, to be honest with you. A couple more Guardies here. This one's got Drifloon. Another Guardy. This one's playing Drifloon, Screamtail, Fluttermane. And then we got another Guardy Jelly, playing the Latias and the Turo and stuff. Cool. Another Flareon in top 64. This one's got the Sylveon in the deck, so going back to the the OG route of how you play Flareon. It's cool to see. Another Dango Rocks with the Cram and the Mega Mawile. The Lana's 8 in there. Another Kangaskhan Absol. And then another Terra Box. Let's check this one out. This Terra Box with a Mega Kangaskhan. I like it. I think Mega Kangaskhan and Terra Box. Mega Kangaskhan is pretty cool. And the deck does a lot of work. Then we got a Raging Bolt here in top 64. I mean, Bolt was like fine for the tournament. This one's playing the Wellspring Ogre Pond, so it's not like Terra Box, but it does have that like Terra Box element where you do play the early Wellspring Owl engine with Crispins and stuff. 4 Crispins, 3 Soda, right? So like less Soda than there is Crispins. But you really capitalize on the power of Torrential Pump. It's just such a strong attack right now, especially when Guardies are cutting down on their Rolls line. Another Dango Rocks, pretty straightforward stuff with no big megas. And we had another Poltnor doing well, and then we had a Greninja make top 64. Yes, Greninja Pidgeot Dusknoir made cash at LAIC. This is pretty cool to see. I mean, this Greninja deck's sick. I mean, we've actually been seeing it have okay performances already in the past couple like regionals and stuff. So I'm not surprised to actually see it finally break through and actually cash an IC, which is really cool to see. This is like really sick to see for Greninja. Nice stuff. It's got the triple energies, Devo, Grand, Tree Still, Spec, Klefki. The deck doesn't seem bad in the Phantasmal Flames meta either, because like you can use Klefki still, and that doesn't seem terrible actually. So yeah, that's a really cool deck. And we got another Terra Box here at size top 64. A couple more Dango Rocks. One's got the Mawile in there. Another Dango Rocks. Playing the Mawile also in the Cram. Another Guardy Jelly with the Mega Gardevoir and Guardy Jelly. So that's cool. Next to a big attacker to work with. Another Kangaskhan Absol here, playing Zoroark Eerie in that one. A couple more Dango Rocks here, one with Mawile. And we got another one here, also playing the Mawile. We got another Poltnor. Gardevoir, playing Fluttermane and Mega Guardy. Alright, cool. Another Guardy Jelly, just a lot of Guardy Jelly, man. Just was really good this weekend. Gardevoir Jellicent was sick. And we had our first look at Charizard here, outside of Gabriel's list. This does play the Dusknoir. Gouging Fire is actually in the deck too, is like a wall break attacker, and playing the Chi-Yu still. The one difference here, there's no Mist Energy in this build, which is a pretty big omission actually, but still just a strong deck in general. Another Guardy Jelly, and we had another Charizard Pidgeot here with the Monkey Dory, Triple Boss, Cleffa, stuff like that. Gabriel's list was similar, I think. He was playing Gouging Fire, I think, in his build. I think that was a big difference in Gabriel's list. He had Gouging Fire in the deck. And Unfair Stamp, not Max Spell Dossier spec. That was like the big difference between the lists. We had Gardevoir here with the Drifloon. All right, cool. Another Joltik Box. Doing well with the Mega Mawile. I like the Mega Mawile edition in the deck. Seems pretty good. Another Dango Rocks. Playing with the triple Dango there again. Another Pidgeot. Another Pidgeot Dusknoir with the Gouging Fire. So Gouging Fire was popular in Charizard this weekend, it looks like. The Guardy with the Fluttermane and the Frillish package. More Poltnor stuff. Then we got another Grim Froslass here. Playing the Petron and the Tatsugiri going back in there. And we had a Jengo do well. I don't think Jengo's bad. It does have a better matchup to Jelly Guardy, I would say, than honestly even Dango Rocks. But the deck's pretty strong. I like it. Playing the Galvantula EX in there, the double Iron Hands. Yeah, cool stuff. I like it. I like it. Jengo's pretty sick. What else do we got here? Another Raging Bolt doing well. This one does also play the Wellspring Mask Ogre Pond, the 4 Crispin, the 3 Soda package. We got another Joltik Box below that, also playing the Mawile EX in there. Another Guardy with the Meg Guardy and Budu. That's a card we haven't seen in Gardevoir in a while. It's Budu, actually, over Frillish. That's cool. Another Charizard here. And with the Ho-Oh and the Hero's Cape and the Dusknoir still in the deck here, piloted by Owen Kimmerman. And then we have another Poltnor, just normal stuff. Another Gardevoir with the Drifloon playing Frillish there too. Then we had another Guardy Jelly here. Pretty straightforward build. Another Joltik Box. This one had the Magneton in there alongside the Mawile. The one, the new Magnemite with 70 HP. I didn't even realize we got a 70 HP Magnemite. That's kind of hype actually. What the heck? That's cool. And the Magneton idea is not bad in Joltik Box. Give you a little bit more of energy acceleration to work with. Can come up in a few scenarios for sure. And another Dango Rocks. Also playing the Mawile. More Guardy Jellies. Let's see. Yeah, more Guardy Jellies there. A couple more Poltnors. We'll quickly look at these. And I think after this, we'll kind of just skim through the rest of the decks here in day 2. Because there's over 300 people in the day 2 at LAIC, which is pretty big. Compared to last year's ICE LAIC, it's pretty massive. So look at a couple more decks here, and then we'll move on. Another Dango Rocks. Kangaskhan Absol, anything cool there? Nope, nothing crazy. And then another Dango Rocks. Okay, so now we'll move on. We'll just look at anything cool that pops up. Like, for example, Armarouge here, doing good with a Mega Latias. I think that might be Mega Latias CX's first Day 2 Limitless page. Actually, I'm pretty sure. Pretty hype. Also, Prime Catcher as the spec over Legacy Energy and playing Judge in the deck for hand disruption. This is a really interesting Armarouge list. Playing the Roaring Moon in there. Yeah, really cool Armarouge list. Again, giving Mega Latias CX a Limitless page. We had our first look at Ceruledge here. Ceruledge did not perform as well this weekend, which is kind of interesting. I don't know if enough good players were not on it. Honestly, though, with Dango, Guardy Jelly, and Kangaskhan Absol being so good at the top tables, Ceruledge didn't seem like the worst deck to play to the tournament, but maybe it's just worse than Goldengo, right? Maybe that's why it just underperformed overall. Because Ceruledge has actually been starting to flop a little bit more recently in the past couple tournaments. We had a Miraidon deck do good here, but this one was not playing Joltik. It was just a Magneton version of Iron Hands with generators and stuff. So going back to the original approach to Miraidon, no Eels, just opted to play the Magnetons. No Mega Manectric either is in there. It's interesting. Another Raging Bolt here. We can take a look at this list, I guess. Playing Cornerstone and Wellspring. And we had another Raging Bolt here. This one also, yeah, playing the Wellspring Ogerpon. We got our Blood Moon Rocks making Day 2 here. Playing a Hitmonchan. That's a unique tech card. What does this do? If this Pokemon is damaged, put 3 damage on the attacking Pokemon. Excite Punch. That's interesting. I guess just there for the ability. It's a really interesting inclusion. Or like Maractus even, or whatever. It's a cool inclusion for sure. I guess the second attack is like fine too. It's not terrible. It's cool to see the Blood Moon deck still do well. Maybe it'll be better next format. Who knows? Who knows? We got a normal Crustle here. This one was playing Crustle with the Absol, but no Kangaskhan. It wasn't a Kangaskhan Absol deck that happened to play Crustle. It was more of a Crustle deck first. And then had the Absol inclusion there still to be a little bit more disruptive, which I like. So still a cool list. See here, we had a Blaziken Dragapult deck played by Fabian. He's just been pioneering this deck for a while now, so I'm not surprised to see him played again to LEIC. He did play a couple of reversals in there alongside the baby Blaziken. Very interesting inclusion. Played Budu in the deck. 3/3/2 Dragapult line. Yeah, it's a cool little 60 here. Double Monkey in there. Petron EX1 in the deck, so still wanting to play a little bit of darkness in the deck over with Mega Absol. I think was he playing Mega Absol before? I saw a list play Mega Absol before. Probably wasn't, I don't know if it was Fabian or not. Another Joltik Box. Another Charizard. We'll take a look at this one. Another Dusknoir Charizard list. A lot of the Dusknoir Charizards were popping up. Didn't seem like a bad play for the tournament at all. Another Grim. Let's see here. Anything else? Another Zoroark. Honestly, I'm surprised. We did not see that much Zoroark here at LEIC. That is one thing I just realized. We saw Vini, and that's it. That was like the last Zoroark we saw. I guess not enough of the good players were playing Zoroark this weekend. It doesn't seem like a bad play. Again, there's so much Guardy Jelly going around. It looks pretty similar to the list Liam was playing last week in Las Vegas here. Yeah, it's crazy, actually. That Zoroark didn't do as well this weekend. That still did good, because one did make top 16, but, like, not a lot of Zoroark in this tournament. It was honestly kind of crazy to see. Really surprised to see that, not going to lie. We got another Pulsar here in Day 2. That's cool. This one's got Psyduck in there, and Turo, and Briar, so a lot more going on in this build here of Pulsar. But I like it. Pulsar's pretty cool. I respect it. I like that deck. I think it's pretty sick. Sick for sure. Also playing Unfair Stamp as the spec. I don't hate the idea of that, actually. We had a Control do decent. I guess it wasn't really the tournament for Control. I don't know. Control was like okay for LEIC. There was one doing good. I think in seniors, it made second place, I'm pretty sure. Maybe we'll look at the seniors and juniors list after this. Yeah, we'll look at the junior and seniors. Let's see what did well in that division. So our Crustle made Day 2. That's cool. Playing Golduck in there, too. Is that Golduck's first Limitless page? I don't know. It might have been played in Alakazam that made Day 2, actually, but it's pretty cool to see the Golduck in the Day 2 bracket. It's pretty funny. It's not a bad little list there. I think the Crustle Zoroark deck's decent. There's a few ways to play Crustle. Just pair with a dark Pokemon. Fix your Guardian matchup a little bit. Patch it up. What else we got here? Another Ceruledge here in Day 2. Let's take a look at this one, I guess. If it wants to load. Yeah, sometimes the list is very slow for some reason. I don't know why it does this. It's got the Drill Burn there. Jamming Tower is a one of. I don't hate it. I mean, honestly, Ceruledge wasn't the worst deck for this tournament. Because, like, in theory, it's supposed to be favored against both Guardy, Jelly. Seems better than the Bravery Charm build, and also Dango and Kangaskhan, right? Typhlosion making Day 2 here. No Pidgeot. Not really playing much of an engine other than, like, the Tassagiri is, like, your main engine there. Another Crustle. No dark Pokemon, just a straightforward Crustle deck. Okay, then. See here. Anything else? Another Pulsar with the one of Teal Mask Ogerpon. Interesting. I mean, it's a grass type that can hit for weakness, I guess, in certain matchups. Is there Max Belt? Yeah, okay. Max Belt, Teal Mask. I guess helps a little bit against Kangaskhan Absol. We got a couple more Zoroarks here. Playing the Absol and the Eerie. And then we got another Zoroark here. Playing the Darmanitan. Yeah, Zoroark not doing as well is kind of crazy. Just, I guess, again, not enough people are playing it. Another Zoroark Darmanitan here in day 2. Okie dokie. And we had another Typhlosion make day 2. So all the Dango rocks. Doesn't seem like the worst deck. This one had the Pidgeot inclusion in the deck. Is Typhlosion favored against Kanga Absol, by the way? I don't know about that. You can one-shot the Absol, right? But you have to play... Honestly, you probably would have to play like Tool Scrapper if you want to one-shot Kangaskhan Absol. I don't know. Typhlosion doesn't seem terrible, actually, in this format. Now, obviously, all the Guardy Jellies doesn't help, but it's not the worst deck ever. Another Flareon here on the Pidgeot. Then we had a Mega Man in day 2. Look at that. Mega Manectric did make it day 2. The Mega Man Eels deck. The Turbo Lightning deck here. 16 Lightning, 4 Generator. It's a pretty sick deck. I like Mega Manectric. Honestly, it's a fun deck. Mega Manectric isn't bad against Kangaskhan Absol. Actually, it's like super free, to be honest with you. It's like a really easy matchup for the deck. And I don't think Dango's bad either. You can like 2/2 them with Iron Hands and stuff. You get lucky. That's cool to see that deck make day 2 again. Another Zoroark here. The Absol. Another Zoroark below that with the Toadskrull in there. We got a Dango. Is it Dangoless Rocks? Yeah, it's Dango with the Cypher Maniac Esearch Pro Scizor. I think Esearch Pro Dango is still worth looking at. Dango Rocks does feel a lot more smoother, but Dango Esearch Pro doesn't seem terrible still. Still a lot of value you can get out of Esearch Pro for sure, but you can't play Esearch Pro with the rocks, unfortunately. Another Dango here making day 2. Another whole Armarouge in day 2. Let's see this one. It's got the Baby Okidogi in there and Cornerstone Ogerpon in the build. And it's playing actually in the deck too. So that's a cool little list for Ho-Oh Armarouge. This deck's got to break through eventually. Maybe rotation, the deck will actually become like a lot better. Who knows? Another Crustle below that one. Straightforward Crustle deck. No dark Pokemon. All right, let's see. What else do we got here? Anything more cool? Is Straight Pull. Yo, Dragapult Alakazam in day 2? Also, I'm pretty sure this person just gave Alakazam EX its first day 2 Limitless page. Oh my god. That is crazy. This is a sick list. What the heck? Yo, this is baller. I mean, honestly, it doesn't seem bad. Dracloak is a pretty good card in combination with Alakazam. You're accumulating a big hand, and you get access to Phantom Dive. Yo, that's pretty cool. The Alakazam EX is definitely an interesting inclusion. I guess it's good in... Actually, I don't know what the Alakazam EX is in the deck for, to be honest with you, but it's cool to see. This is a really sick deck. What the heck? Yo, shout out Rodrigo for that. That's a sick list. What the heck? That's awesome. Another Zoroark here of the 1/1 Crustle. There's another Zoroark Crustle deck, as you call it. Anything else cool as we scroll down here? There's a lot of Jengos and stuff. Another Zoroark Crustle making day 2 here if the deck will load. Yeah, Zoroark Crustle in day 2. That's sick to see. 2/2 Crustle. I'd say I would do a video on that Dragapult Alakazam deck if I literally didn't just upload an Alakazam video literally yesterday. Because that deck is cool. We had a Moon in top, or day 2. Wants to load here real quick today. Yeah, Limos just is so laggy sometimes for no reason. I don't know what's going on. It was a Poison Moon deck. That deck's pretty strong. I like it. It's an underrated deck in all honesty. I think it beats Kangaskhan Absol too. And, I mean, it should be able to beat Gardevoir. Like, you are playing an old Dark deck. Doesn't seem like the worst match. Especially Guardy Jelly, which is a lot of a slower deck, obviously, right? So, didn't seem as bad into that. I mean, a Kangaskhan Bouffalon here doing well. This deck might get a lot better with Ice Cream. There was a really cool Kangaskhan Yen Mega deck that made day 2 in Las Vegas. I didn't do a video on Las Vegas decks, but Kangaskhan Yen Mega made day 2, and I thought that deck was really unique. That's something I do want to look into in the future. Another Alakazam in day 2. No Dragapult, just playing the Dunsparce, obviously. There's always going to be an Alakazam in day 2. And then below that, we had a Venusaur in day 2 with, oh my god, everything in there. Wotion, Toadscruels, Regigigas, Maxrod, everything in the deck. Holy moly. Crazy Venusaur list. I mean, Venusaur's an underrated deck. I think it has potential to do well at some point. We had a Conkeldurr here. All the rogue stuff, unfortunately, at the bottom of day 2 because of all the Guardy Jelly doing well. And Dragapult just holds him back, which is sad to see. Another Zoroark with the Darmanitan and the Hoopa. I like it. Another Kangaboofa in day 2 with the Crustle. Okay, so it's like a Crustle Kangaskhan Bouffalon deck. I like it. Decent stuff. We got a Charizard making day 2 here with Noctowl, Wellspring Ogerpon, Kangaskhan, Ho-Oh, Pidgeot. Really crazy stuff. That's a cool list. Another Ho-Oh Armarouge in day 2. Let's check this one out. The hands, Reshiram, Roaring Moon in there. Cool stuff. And then we had a Greninja once again in day 2. 2 of them. One made cash. And another one was in day 2. That's cool to see. Greninja is not a bad deck. Don't sleep on it. I mean, the Klefki helps a lot. You have the Klefki. It's basically like the first version, I feel like, of the low punny Dusknoir deck that we now have in the format with Phantasmal Flames. So that's like the first draft of that. Another Flareon here. The Pidgeot. And a Froslass Monkey Dory making day 2, playing the Tinglu in there. And then finally, we had Joltik Box in day 2 with Mawa. And there you go. Those are all of the decks in day 2 at LAIC. We'll take a look at the other divisions, like I said. Almost forgot to do that. So we did see Dango Rocks win in the juniors division here with nothing too crazy, just playing the baby Dango in there and the Prime Catcher and stuff and the Cypher Maniac. Did beat fellow Canadian Camille here. Congrats to them, making second place with Control. Control winning LAIC would have been kind of cool to see. I'd have to rewatch the finals, because I feel like Control, I mean, theoretically should be favored against Dango, so I'm curious to see how that game ended up playing out for Camille. I guess it's just hard to keep your Pidgeot on the board when Goldengo can, like, KO it easily. Pulsar made top 4 again. Nathan Ostercat's just been piloting the deck to success. Definitely looking into Pulsar next format. Still had Guardy Jelly doing well with a Fluttermane in there. And then a couple Guardies still in top 8 here. This one had Clef Cannon. That's crazy. Another Drifloon build. And we had a Terror Box in top 8. Pretty standard build. And then we had a Raging Bolt make top 8 here in the juniors division also. Or seniors, sorry, not juniors. And then in juniors division here, we had Grimmsnarl take it down. My go Grimmsnarl ended up beating Charizard in the finals. It was also a Dusknoir Lizard with Double Monkey. That actually, and Heroescape, that just seemed like a lot harder of a matchup for Grimmsnarl to manage. Well, there's no Mist Energy, I guess, actually. There's no Mist Energy in the build. That probably makes sense why Charizard maybe lost. No Mist Energy. It's pretty bad. But Charizard, decent run with no Dusknoir. I like it. All right, and then we had another Grim in top 4. A lot of Grimmsnarl in the juniors here. It's crazy. And then we had 2 Pulsars in top 8, too. That's cool. I like this deck because one's got Max Belt in there. We got another Pulsar here playing the Unfair Stamp. Cool stuff. And then we had another Guardia Jelly. Another Guardia with the Drifloon. And then finally, another Raging Bolt here in the top 8 of the juniors division. Cool stuff. And there you go. Those are the divisions. But yeah, there you go. That is the entirety of LEIC's Day 2. Crazy stuff. The big story is Gardevoir Jellicent dominated the tournament. Kangaskhan Absol also did really good in Goldengo. Like, Goldengo, Guardy Jelly, and Kanga Absol were, like, the 3 big decks in Day 2 this weekend. Zoroark not having as many good performances as I thought it would. Just 1 in top 16. Charizard, outside of Gabriel Fernandez, obviously Charizard did flop a little bit. We did have a Pulsar in top 32, and then we had the Pidgeot Charizard technically in the finals. But yeah, overall, I mean, things were just kind of like normal. I got the Greninja in top 64. That's really cool to see. Just a lot of Gardevoir, a lot of Dango, a lot of Kanga Ab. This is just like the most played decks in Day 2. We'll have to see how the meta shifts with Phantasmal Flames. We do have a couple of new decks, like the low punny Dusknoir deck. Looks like it could be a threat. Sharpedo could be good. I still actually have to do a video looking at online tourney results. The reason I haven't done that yet is because there hasn't actually been that many online tourney results to actually look at yet. I've been scrolling through Limitless every day, but it doesn't look like there's enough big tournaments. But hopefully Wednesday, I'll try to get one of those videos out so we can look at some online tourney results. I think more people are going to focus on the new format now that this format's now over. That's probably why we didn't see as many of the Phantasmal Flames online tourneys. So hopefully Wednesday or Thursday, I'll have one of those videos out. But thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll catch you on another video here very soon on the second channel.